So now we have paradigm addiction. Wow. The biggest disaster in the comedy of errors of a long sequence of amateur event producers. They're addicted to their paradigms. They have some belief and they believe that's what's going to do something. Well, I am Rowland Barkley. I am the consciousness designer. I am a master of breaking paradigms. So the first thing that you do with the paradigm breaker is don't bother telling him your paradigms. Now, a paradigm is any singular belief. You know, it can be think positive. It can be appear negative, it can be appear positive, like you cannot have a good relationship. It can be, one day I will have a good relationship. Well, that's one day, and that's putting it into the future, which of course is negative anyway. And psychologists have paradigms such as you can only change slowly. Now, the point is the speed of change is the speed of change. If you do your work, you'll see how fast it is. You don't need to have a belief that it's fast or slow. It's fast when it's fast, it's slow when it's slow, or a fast change induces a lifetime of slow change, or slow change induces a fast change. Trying to repeat one rule is denying all of the other possibilities. And in all cases I have seen, when someone is stuck with a paradigm and they really find it important for me to believe some idea they have about how to produce an event, I notice two things. One, the more tightly they are addicted to one belief, the more they're trying to get me to believe something that I personally know is not used by people that have sold events for millions. One big paradigm I hear is, how can I sell a course that I cannot explain? Now, Robert Kiyosaki, who receives a minimum of $80,000 commission per city, per workshop that people are selling, it is prohibited to explain the workshop. There's another workshop in Brazil. I've met people, a number of people who've sold this workshop for millions. And in all cases, it is absolutely forbidden to describe what will happen at the workshop. It is forbidden to describe or attempt to explain the workshop. The workshops which sell the best are not explained. Now, do you sell a Porsche by the numbers? Okay, maybe you need to know a few numbers, but basically, to sell a Porsche car, you sell the type of person you will be when you have a Porsche car. You're not selling, the person might confirm that you also know a few technical details, but really, if you fill their mind with a lot of technical details and they want to look great, they want to look wonderful, they want to go out and sell like $1 million apartments, and they didn't think a Volkswagen was suitable, and you sell them the technical details that's different between the Porsche and the Volkswagen, you will lose the sale. You'll sell the type of person that they will be, the types of sales they will make because they are a Porsche person. And yet when the more a paradigm is ridiculous, the more a paradigm is crazy, the more it has no basis whatsoever, the more the person is tightly believing it. Oh no, I can't sell this workshop if I can't understand it. Well, the fact is the person that says this probably will not live to understand it, and that does not matter. Now, I used to visit a concert pianist, and his wife learn to be a psychiatrist just to understand her husband. Well, guess what? There's nothing about understanding musicians in a psychiatry course. She was stunned that I could understand him in seconds, and she couldn't understand him after 22 years of marriage. Of course not. She was trying to explain him. You don't explain master musicians. You can ask them how they access energy to do great work. They can answer in the most amazing ways if you ask them the right questions. But explaining, no, that's like explaining how a workshop works, or explaining how a master musician sounds so different than everybody else on earth. That's not done by mental explanations. So just know that if you, as a workshop producer, need me to understand your point of view, you need me to understand your belief, the more certain you are, the more I'm going to know absolutely that you just want to fill my brain with something that's completely ridiculous. And my brain, anything so ridiculous it fits in it, like you have to explain the workshop to sell it, it will just enter my brain like, throwing a spark of dust into the sun, and it will explode. It's going to have no meaning to me of any sort whatsoever. What you need to do is learn some of the principles that do work, which is letting the person know what change is possible, and letting them know how great people feel when they go through these changes together, and that just the way the Native American ancient spiritual masters say when on a simple thing like a sweat lodge, they carry a hot rock and say this is a mystery that the mind cannot understand, and they say grandfather coming in, it's a hot rock. It's a hot rock. But then their understanding of a hot rock may not be your understanding of it's just a rock. It may be a very deeper understanding. And yet it's a very popular procedure. People will go to experience this in not just America, in Italy and Brazil. And they get people to come saying that this has wisdom the mind cannot understand. They have thousands of years of experience in having people do things so great the mind cannot understand. You, as an Atelier of Power event producer, have the opportunity to have people do something so great the mind cannot understand. That doesn't mean they won't understand. It means they won't be limited to the mental understanding of just one of their minds. I work with all the minds simultaneously. That is the prerequisite to understanding. That is number 8 in the series, producing Atelier of Power events, the section of Paradigm Addiction.